Burkina Faso was formerly known as the Republic of Upper Volta. It is a landlocked country located in the Western Africa. It has a population of 23 million. The country underwent change from the Republic of Upper Volta to Burkina Faso in 1984 under the leadership of President Thomas Sankara. The term Burkina Faso translates to Land of Incorruptible People. The inhabitants of Burkina Faso are referred as Burkinabe. The nation's capital city is Ouagadougou. Geographically, Burkina Faso is situated on an extensive plateau. The landscape is predominantly a savanna, lush in the northern regions and transitioning in the forests at the south. The country is encircled by Mali to the north and west, Niger to the northeast, Benin to the southeast, and Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, and Togo to the south. The history of Burkina Faso is marked by its colonial past, having been a French colony during the European scramble for Africa. France established colonial control after a series of conflicts from 1896 to 1904. Burkina Faso gained independence from France in 1960, initially as Upper Volta. Ibrahim Traoré is the current interim leader of Burkina Faso, having assumed power after a coup in September 30, 2022, which deposed the former interim president, Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba. Burkina Faso is renowned for its rich cultural heritage, particularly in the arts. The Mossi, Bobo, and Lobi peoples are celebrated for their traditional artistry. The Mossi are noted for their antelope masks, the Bobo for their large butterfly masks, and the Lobi for their wood carvings. The Untrai is also renowned for hosting and showcasing the largest craft market in Africa. Despite its cultural wealth, Burkina Faso faces significant challenges. This is one of the world's most poorest countries, with 40% of its population living below the national poverty line, according to the World Bank in 2020. Factors such as rapid population growth, gender inequality, and low educational attainment contribute to the nation's food insecurity and poverty. The economy is heavily reliant on subsistence farming and livestock raising, with a significant portion of the population engaged in agriculture. The financial system is dominated by the banking sector, which represents 30% of the GDP. There is a lot of poverty in the country. The country's economic stability is contingent upon maintaining low inflation, reducing the trade deficit, and implementing reforms to foster private investment. Please may I ask you to subscribe to the channel. It will help the channel to grow. Let us continue. Despite the challenges, Burkina Faso has some economic growth and increased exports following the devaluation of the African franc currency. Everyone is hoping the new president will make me progress. The cultural heritage is vibrant with its tapestry woven by diverse ethnic groups and their diverse unique traditions. For instance, indigenous masks and dancing are central to the cultural expression in Burkina Faso. Masks are crafted traditional rites, often involving sacrifices to gods and animal spirits. By the way, dance is used to invoke the spirits. Let us take a look at the education. Primary education. Efforts have been made to improve access to primary education. However, challenges such as distance to schools, lack of infrastructure, and poverty still hinder enrollment rates. The quality of education remains a concern, such as overcrowded classrooms, insufficient teaching materials, and teacher shortages impact the teaching experiences. Secondary education. Secondary education enrollment rates are lower than desired. Many students do not transition from primary to secondary due to financial constraints or limited availability of schools. Higher education. Burkina Faso has several universities. The institutions do offer diverse programs. However, there is funding shortages, outdated facilities, and limited research opportunities pose challenges to higher education. Please help me build the channel and bring you more topics about Africa by subscribing. Thank you. Let us carry on. Burkina Faso cash crop. Surplus cotton, shea nuts, sesame, and sugarcane are exported, while sorghum, millet, maize, peanuts, and rice are grown for local consumption. Fonio, cassava, sweet potatoes, and beans are also grown. Maize and soybeans account for more than half of the 2022 U.S. crop cash receipts. Crop cash receipts totaled over $278 billion in the calendar year 2022. Receipts from maize and soybeans accounted for $149 billion of the total. Burkina Faso does have gold. Yes, Burkina Faso is the third biggest site for gold exploration in Africa. And the fourth biggest gold producer in Africa. Burkina Faso gold production was reported at 60 million kilograms in December 2023. With 34 observations in Burkina Faso, this alone should be enough to make everyone in the country live a relatively comfortable life. President Ibrahim Traoré laid a foundation stone for a national gold refinery on November 23, 2023. With an annual capacity of 150 tons, the facility, whose total cost has not been disclosed, will produce its first gold 11 months from now. This project is developed in partnership with Marina Gold, a local company. The refinery will be the first in the country. It will house a jewelry store and a future headquarters of the Société Nationale de Substances Précieuses, which oversees the project on behalf of the state. This facility should create a lot of jobs, according to the authorities. The current president said, "We will no longer be refining out gold abroad, but we'll have it refined in Africa. And we will know what the real value of the raw gold that comes out of our mines." Local processing is becoming a priority for several African mining countries, which have long exported their raw production. In the gold sector, most of the continent's producers have their gold processed in refineries in South Africa, Switzerland, or China. Africa's third largest gold producer by 2022, Mali could follow in the footsteps of its neighbor, Burkina Faso, following the signing of a memorandum of understanding with Russia for the construction of a gold refinery. So, why is Burkina Faso still poor? The answer is, the rapid population growth, gender inequality, and low levels of educational attainment contribute to food insecurity and poverty in Burkina Faso. The estimated population growth rate is 3% per year, and more than half of Burkinabe are younger than 18 years, UNICEF 2019. Child labor is alive and well in Burkina Faso. According to Burkina Faso's United States Department Labor, children between the ages 4 to 14 years work in the granite quarries and gold mines. These children work for 6 to 7 days a week, for up to 14 hours per day. So-called payment is in the form of food to eat and a place to sleep. The government is working to stop child trafficking and child labor. Life expectancy. Malaria is responsible for 62% of all hospitalization and accounts for nearly half of all the deaths for children under the age of years. A big thank you to you all for the support. I value you tons.